Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We're in the kitchen again here tonight, and tonight we are going to be making something I really quite enjoy. It's quick, it's easy, it doesn't require too much skill, and tonight we're going to make pizza buns. Pizza buns are just like cinnamon buns, but with pizza ingredients. So let's get started. What you're going to need is pizza dough. I will link to the recipe I use for my pizza dough, but you can use any pizza dough you've got. You can make it yourself, you can buy it, it doesn't matter, as long as it's pizza dough. So you're just going to get your pizza dough and spread it out a little bit, and you just want it to start relaxing. So you just want to get it kind of smushed out, okay? Just a little bit smushed out like that. And then give it a second to relax. While you're waiting for that to relax, get yourself a 9x13 cake pan, so just a normal cake pan, and you want to make it so it's not going to stick. I'm just going to use a cooking spray, a canola oil cooking spray, just to coat it, just because we really don't want this to stick. It's not fun. So give that a really good spray. You can also butter and flour the pan if you like, but seriously, just using cooking spray is really, really easy. So set that aside, okay? Back to our dough. Take your dough. You want to, just like you would with cinnamon buns, you know you're making a rectangle. I like to press it, not roll it, because pizza dough does better when it's a little bit airy, has a little air trapped in there. So we're not going to use a rolling pin and squish it. We're going to do it with our hands. And we're just going to press it into a decent sized rectangle. You can get away with a rectangle that's about the size of your pan, actually. Or you can go thinner than that. It's entirely up to you. So just give that a press. Press it out. So what size? You could do 15 inches by 12 inches. You could do 13 inches by 10 inches. It doesn't matter that much. You don't have to be that finicky about it. So just try to get that even-ish. Again, if you're not perfect, it doesn't matter. Okay. Looks good. So now we need to create our filling. Creating our filling is actually really easy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use some pizza sauce. Now, you don't want a ton of pizza sauce because it will squish out. Okay, it'll squish out and it'll make a mess. So don't do too much. What kind of pizza sauce? Any kind you like. Any kind of pizza sauce you like. You can use a canned sauce, a jarred sauce. You can use sauce you made yourself. You can use sauce in a squeeze bottle. Whatever you really enjoy. So do a thin layer, because if you do too much, it's going to end up squishing out. What you don't want to do is this top edge, the edge furthest away from you, don't put sauce on that for about an inch away from the pizza, otherwise from the edge. So you can go right to the edge except for this one spot. Okay, that you need that spot to not have a whole bunch of stuff in the way, because you're going to be rolling this up and you need this exposed bit of dough to stick to the rest of the dough. So you want to make sure you leave that blank. Just don't put any sauce there. Now you want to pick your pizza toppings. Now I am just doing cheese, but you can do anything you want. You could layer this with pepperoni, you could do bacon, you could do mushrooms, you could do whatever you like. But I am just doing mozzarella cheese. So we want to do a decent coating, but not super thick. You don't want so much that you go crazy with the cheese. So just a light layer of cheese, maybe. So for the pizza sauce, we probably use about 2 to 3 tablespoons of sauce. And for the cheese, we're probably using about half a cup. Okay, maybe up to 3/4 of a cup if you want it a little bit cheesier. Okay. This is also a good time to add in any herbs you might like. So I am going to be using oregano and garlic because that's what I really want to put in here. So I would do about a teaspoon, half a teaspoon if you don't love oregano, of oregano, parsley, or basil, whichever you like. And then I would do about a teaspoon of garlic powder. Okay, just sprinkle that on there. Try to get it evenly spaced around on your dough. So we could, again, add any other pizza ingredients we wanted to, but we're not going to because I'm just doing cheese. So then we're going to start rolling this up. It's important not to squish it, because if you start squishing it, the cheese is going to be really all over the place. So kind of lift and turn. We're not squishing, okay? Just lift and roll. Lift and roll. You don't want that filling escaping. When you get to this point, pull your dough up and pinch it, okay? Pull your dough up and pinch, just so you're not rolling onto that and pushing the cheese onto there. Pinch fairly well because you want that pretty well sealed. Okay. Gently. You don't, remember again, you don't want to squish the filling out. So kind of just make your log so that it's roughly equal. We are going to cut our log into 12 equal pieces, or roughly equal. Again, it's not that big a deal. So first we're going to cut it in half. Cut each of those in half. And then cut them into 3. When you're cutting this, cut between your fingers. So put your fingers down just to kind of keep this from completely collapsing. So cut between your fingers, just because then the whole roll doesn't come undone. So just kind of hold things in place. Okay, so each one of these into 3 to give you 12. Oops. See, that's what happens when you don't hold your fingers. Okay. So now we have our pan again. We are going to pick these up and put them in the pan. These end ones with the funky butts, put them butt side down. And you're just going to gently pick those up and arrange those in your pan. Okay, gently. You don't want to leave a bunch of filling behind. So we're just going to keep picking those up and putting them in our pan. Okay, and just kind of fuss with them a little bit. Okay, there we go. Just fuss with them a little just to make them decent. And if you have one side, when you take these off, if you have one side that's fairly flat and the other side that's kind of blooming up, put the blooming side up, because that'll help contain your filling a little bit. So really get these guys in here. Okay? Really get these guys in here. Don't worry about it too much. Go. And any little bits of cheese or anything you dropped, just pick those up and put those on top. Now we have to set that aside and let that rise. It's probably going to take about an hour. You want everything to about double in size. So let it take its time. Put it somewhere warm. So I like to put it inside my microwave because that kind of contains the heat and humidity. Don't turn the microwave on. Just put it in there because it stays fairly warm and contains the humidity so they don't dry out. But just put them somewhere where they'll be able to rise, cover them with a damp dish towel, and we will come back in about an hour, maybe 90 minutes, when these guys have fully risen. All right, our pizza buns are ready to go in the oven. They are nicely risen. They'll still puff up a little bit more in the oven. So it took maybe an hour. I only left them for an hour. I just want to get them baked. So as long as they look like that, they're fine. So you're going to bake them at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 to 30 minutes or until they're as golden as you like. Don't bake them for less than 23 minutes because you do want to make sure the dough is fully cooked. Sometimes the dough takes a little bit longer to cook than normal because of the addition of the cheese. So we'll pop them in the oven and we'll be back in about half an hour. And there you have it. Easy to make, fun to eat pizza buns. Remember, you can customize these by adding in any of the traditional pizza toppings when you're rolling it up. So you can add peppers or mushrooms or pepperoni, bacon, whatever you like. Anything you would normally put on a pizza, you can put inside of these. I find these exceptionally good for kids' lunches because they fit in a lunchbox a lot better than a slice of pizza. So make these for your kids, make them for yourself. I'm sure you'll have fun. Thanks for joining us tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow.